Welcome back. Said I was gonna do another video soon. Here it is. Basically, I just want to jump in on this video right away to my first day of prison. Okay, so I'm in the state of Maryland. I've been in the county jail now for several months, waiting sentencing. State's attorney had no deals for me. They finally let me cop to 20, suspended to 3 years. Got to do all 3. And then when I get out, I do drug court. Anyway, I'm more than happy to take that. More than happy. I had a lot of charges, and I ain't bragging and boasting. Anyway, so I get sent to Baltimore City Detention Center. Baltimore City Department of Corrections, excuse me, from the county jail here in St. Mary's County, located in Maryland, state of Maryland. So when I get to Baltimore City, D.O.C., first thing they do, put you in bullpen, they check you in, you get your hair cut if you like to. I got mine cut. It's one of the worst fucking haircuts I got in my life. A little prison barber did it right in the hallway outside the bullpen. I got thrown back in the bullpen. Swapped my clothes out for some big ass white tee and some really big blue D.O.C. jeans, prison jeans with a bunch of blue ink in them, like jeans with an amazing amount of ink in them, man, and some white prison shoes they give you. So I got that little outfit, you know, the official prison outfit, blue and white, and I got sent to my tier. It's floor 7 in a building of about 8 or 9 floors. I can't remember, but I'm sure you can Google it. Tier 7's a crazy fucking tier. The whole building is like super maximum security. And there's no way out pretty much. Once you're in there, you're in there. You're not going outside, any of that. So most of the time you go there to see what prison you're actually going to go to like, you're starting your time, but to really do your time at, you know. So long story short, I ended up being there 45 days. It's pretty long because you're on lockdown like 23-1. You know, you get out for an hour. You got to use the shower, use the phone, and there's a lot of people trying to do it. I was on the top tier. Top tier gets out for an hour, and then a couple hours go by, and then the bottom tier gets out for an hour. You know, we get our hour, they get theirs. We might get it at nighttime, then they get it at daytime. Then next day we get it at daytime, they get it at nighttime. So it's pretty confusing, but you get out for 1 hour and you actually stay down for longer than 21 hours at one point in time. So, or 23, excuse me. Anyway, so the first cellie I had was this blood guy, and he kind of schooled me a little bit. Like, I would go to take a shit on the toilet, and I had no curtain up, no nothing, no blinds, you know, and he told me, like, hey man, when you get to real prison, you're gonna want to put the curtains up. So after that, I started putting the curtain up, you know, and you just learn a few things as you go. You know, a lot of people ask about it in county jail before you get to prison. So yeah, you don't really know till you go through it, though. You got to experience it for yourself. It's one of those type of things. Do's and don'ts. Some of it's common sense and just having respect. So anyway, started putting the curtain up. Guy was a cool guy, light-skinned guy, real long dreads, had a big 5-star blood tattoo on his back. This is his second stint in prison. He was now doing 40 years for a robbery he says he did not commit. I'm not sure if he did or not. But he was definitely fighting it. He got convicted. He went to trial. He did not take a plea deal of 20 years, which would have been half his sentence. And that's kind of what happens when you go to trial. But at least he has hope that he can appeal that. If he would have took that plea deal, he would have done that 20, or at least 15 on the 20, or whatever good days he would have got. You know, maybe even parole. Anyway, that was my first cell buddy in D.O.C. He was a good guy, man. He was a Muslim now, and there was phones also. That reminds me. 2 of the phones were Muslim owned. 2 of the phones were Dead Man Incorporated owned, the white guys. And about 2 of the other ones were BGF, Black Gorilla Family, mostly in Baltimore. It's a Baltimore gang. A lot of them are in there. Like I said, I was in Baltimore City, D.O.C. And then there might be 1 phone for civilians, as they call them, non-affiliated. So basically, that means there's a lot of tension over these phones, who runs them, and when you get phone time. Anyway, My point was, my cell buddy was a Muslim, and he would put me on the Muslim phone. He would tell Hamad or whatever his name was, Ak, or however he calls him, Big Ak, hey, Jay's got the phone after you. And they'd be like, okay, I'll hold him down. So after him, I would hop on the phone, call my mother, talk to my son. It's really the only two people I talked to while I was in there besides my brothers. All my friends turned fake on the street. They've been fake. I just seen it when I got locked up. Didn't really have too many people, you know. That's just the way it went. That's the way you learn things in prison. You see who's real and who's not. So anyway, that's a good lesson to learn. So I call her. I go back to my cell. I take a freezing ice cold shower because we never had hot water on that tier specifically for some weird reason the whole time I was there. Anyway, go back to my cell. It was 2 bunks. It was a huge window, though. It wasn't like a regular jail cell window. It was like a big plexiglass type window. And you lay in your bunk and look through the wall where the window is and just see outside of Baltimore City on East Madison was the street name. And you would just see the buildings, the street, the projects. It was a pretty good view from there. I remember on Saturdays, you would see the dirt bike guys ride through, 12 o'clock boys, whatever they call them. I'm not sure, but you would see them riding through the streets. Some days you would see a bunch of bikers riding bicycles through the street for different causes, I assume. So it was interesting, but very, very boring in that cell, to say the least. Your money normally doesn't follow you from the county jail right away to prison. So in my situation anyway, I can speak for me. I had no money for commissary, didn't get to order commissary. I would try to fill it out every other week, and I would never get a bag because my money never went on my account in Baltimore City, D.O.C. They're very slow there. They don't give a shit about you or your money. If anything, employees got caught stealing money before that worked at Baltimore City Department of Corrections. So, yeah, it's very crooked. You would see big mice running around. You would have to put a towel under your door so they wouldn't come in your cell, eat the food that might be on the ground because you're locked in there. You can't, there's no chute. You can't just throw your food out the chute. You got to wait till they unlock the door for breakfast, and you can give it to the guys or something. You don't go to a chow hall in D.O.C. They bring your food from Baltimore City Jail over to D.O.C. and then they bring it on each tier, and like 2 tier helper guys will bring trays to your door and juice. And yeah, it sucks. The food there sucks. It sucks being locked down the whole time. You didn't even do anything wrong, but you're basically locked down. So it's like doing 45 days of solitary confinement, baby. That's D.O.C. Like, welcome to prison. A lot of people don't make it, and that's another story. I had another cell buddy after him. After he left about 5-10 days later, I had J-Rock. Dark-skinned, little small guy. Used to be a Crip. This is his second term. Guess he still was a Crip, but he turned Crip on his first stint. His first bit. And he was cool. He's a funny guy, man. Little, small, skinny guy. And we used to laugh. And we got one noodle one time. I traded my notepad that you get for free in D.O.C. to some guy that he knew, and we got a noodle for it. Ain't much, but we broke it in half, and then we cooked it and ate it. Well, we put it in hot water from the sink and ate it. You know, that's how we did it. We were pretty cool. He was a thorough guy. I look out for him, he looks out for me. He set up the deal. I gave him the notepad. We split the sandwich. Well, the noodles. But I wish it was a sandwich. That's probably why I'm saying that. Picture it as a sandwich. Anyway, once J-Rock left, I was there for about 35 days now. I get another cell buddy. Guy, he's doing 20 years for killing his girlfriend's child and his child, I guess. But he says his girlfriend did it. He took the rap. His first charge ever. He's in college. He lives in Baltimore. He gets 20 years for it. He just got sentenced. He just got shifted over from Baltimore City Jail, been in there for about a year, to D.O.C. with his new 20-year sentence. He calls his girlfriend that he took the rap for. She tells him, why am I going to answer the phone for you? You got 20 years. You're no good to me now. You can't do nothing for me. Blah, blah, blah. I'll be this and that years old by the time you get out. Goodbye. Clicks. Hang up. He can't take it. I get called downstairs to the bullpen because I'm about to get shipped out to Hagerstown, but I didn't know it at the time, to my actual jail to do time at. Anyway, one of the many jails I ended up staying at, but we'll talk about that later. So I'm down in the bullpen. I'm sitting there for a few hours, long time. I see a bunch of cops run by. They're all freaking out. They're running. I didn't know what's going on. I get to Hagerstown. A few guys come with me, a few guys go to Hagerstown from Baltimore City D.O.C. that were with me in D.O.C. on my tier 7. And when they get there, they tell me, yeah, remember your cell buddy, blah, 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 such and such. He hung himself. He killed himself. They brought him out. He was like a fish, just carrying a big old fish out the cell. He was dead. So he did kill himself. You can look it up. I'm not making this up. He killed himself in the cell. He couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle his girl abandoning him. Couldn't handle 20 years. I don't know if he killed the kid to this day or not, but I'm just telling you what actually happened. He was charged with that. I do know that. Besides that, it was kind of heartbreaking. It sucked. I didn't know him personally, but I stayed in the cell with the man for a couple days. We talked a little bit, and yeah, it hurts to see things like that happen. And it shows you, like, damn, this is real life. I can't let depression hit me the way depression hit that guy. I got to stay strong, So I get to Hagerstown. I start out on the intake tier. I believe it was building 8. They got a couple different buildings, couple different numbers. And I get a cell buddy now that's a white guy, older white guy, And he's not in a gang. He's a Christian. And I tell him I believe in God as well. Not really a Christian brother or one of their, part of their group, but I'm a Christian. I believe in God. Religious. No matter what I was doing on the streets, crimes, drugs, whatever, I still believe in God. So since I say that, he automatically wants me to get up in the morning, get coffee, make coffee. He'll give me coffee. We'll do Bible study for like an hour. We'll pray together. I told him, like, that's cool, but I'm not praying with you, dude. I'll pray on my own time because my personal life is mine. Yours is yours. We should keep it that way. We're men. Let's deal with our problems separately. So he somewhat, was upset with that, but he dealt with it. It is what it is. I'm a man, and he's a man. So respect me as a man. I respect you. But we still did do Bible study every morning. I tried it out. I said this might be a good thing for me, a good routine. So it was working, I look forward to doing it in the morning. It got my spirits high, uplifted, drank some coffee, buzzing a little bit, talking about the Bible. And, yeah, get things going, man. Get the day going, And then,